All right, so let us see how Rosas Jr. handles his first pro MMA loss. Came at the hands of Christian Rodriguez in Miami at UFC 287 back in April. This line has steadily been climbing. Mitchell making a quick turn here after he was knocked out in his UFC debut against Cameron Simon. That was at UFC 290 back in July. What do you think, BP? New rules in the main event challenge. You lay in minus 540 or what?
So I love the new rules because if I would accept the new rules or do it, I want my guy Ken Flo to come back. I want it to be, fourth quarter come December. So I will pick a fight. I will lay the chalk on Ramos Jr. because I don't believe in Terrence Mitchell. I don't. Sometimes there are numbers where you're like, this guy can get it done at this number. Like Sean Strickland was a huge number. Didn't shock me in the least bit that he won this. But Terrence Mitchell took some years off. Is a one-round fighter. Came out, guns blazing against Cameron Simon. Didn't even take a breath, was gassed out. Rojas Jr., I feel like maybe was humbled a little bit, but he is still a good grappler. He still is going to use that to grapple Terrence Mitchell, who is a longer striker, but has tended to grapple his last couple times outside the UFC as well. He likes when the fight hits the floor. I think Rojas Jr. That's where he wants to be. He's good to get on top. He has the better cardio. And I think he's going to rebound here. I think he should. He's still young, so it's really hard for me to really kind of like knock on the kid. But if I would like for him to come out here and get a finish, is what I'm trying to say. After his last performance, let's come out and get a finish. If not, I think he's going to dominate 30-27. Give me Rojas Jr. and I'll lay the chalk. I'll lay the heavy chalk.
Yeah, Kenny, a lot of people have bet this number, right? And it's telling when a guy moves from minus 445 to minus 540 and people still find value there in parlays or otherwise. Some suggesting this a custom-made matchup for the youngster Raul Rosas Jr. How do you handicap things against Terrence Mitchell?
Yeah, John, I think that's what it is, really. I think that Terrence Mitchell is very tall and lanky for that division. Was he like 5'10", 135 pounds? That's tough to deal with. However, if you're a dude who wants to look for those legs and get a leg entry and put someone on the ground, it could be a disadvantage as well. And I think while Rosas is probably going to be outgunned on the feet, for the most part, I don't think he's going to try to keep it there. I think he tries to put Mitchell on the ground, and from there, it's going to be over shortly thereafter. So give me Rosas Jr. as well.
All right. We have arrived at the co-main event, and I'm going to go right back to Ken Flo on this one. This is pretty interesting when I send you guys the lines, and it totally flips. I sent you guys these when I was in Sydney. Kevin Holland was the betting favorite. He's no longer the favorite. Jack Della Maddalena minus 135. Kevin Holland plus 114. 20th UFC appearance for my good friend Kevin Holland. Just had a resounding win over Michael Chiesa in Salt Lake City, July 29th. Now he faces Jack Della, for whom, Kenny, it has been an interesting summer. Escaped with a split decision against Basil Hafez, July 15th. And now the 27-year-old out of Perth right back to Vegas to take on Kevin Holland. Your thoughts?
Oh, man, this is such a tricky one for me because JDM is coming off the worst performance of his career. I was super high on him. I think when he's getting things going, he's not forcing a knockout. He looks tremendous when he's just slipping and ripping and keeping that body moving, that head moving. He's, trying to organically look to take you out. He didn't seem that way in his last fight. And on the ground, I don't know. He didn't look so great either. But and then you have Kevin Holland, who has been surprising me left and right. And I guess over the course of his career in the UFC, he's been a tough guy for me to get right. However, right now, this Kevin Holland, to me, has a lot of consistency. It seems like he's highly motivated. He's tall. He's lanky. He's improved a great deal on the feet. He knows how to put it together. He's been wrestling his ass off. He looks way better in that domain as well. And I think he's got way too much momentum at this stage of the game. And I like Kevin Holland here in this fight. So, I'm willing to put 3 units on that one as well. So, 3 unidades para Kevin Holland, por favor.
I love the way you laid that out, and it's all truth, right? Mm-hmm. As someone who has sat down with the man, like you're speaking truth, Ken Flo, in terms of his commitment. I find it very interesting, Bri, that promotionally they want him at 70, and yet he still wants to go to 85. It's like, dude, you win a world title at 170 pounds if you're not careful. Makes the weight reluctantly, begrudgingly, because he likes to eat. But I do find it interesting that he was favored and now he's not. How do you handicap the co-main event at Noche UFC?
Man, no disrespect to the real main event because that's an amazing fight too. This is my main event. I've been behind 3-Name Jack from day one. This dude impresses me. The one thing and I'm not going to brag about myself, but the one thing I credit myself to is I feel like I have an eye for talent when it comes to some fighters. I dug up receipts with some of my boys about Sugar being the champion. I dug up receipts of Ian Gary breaking the top 10 where they all hate the new guys, right? I'm going to dig up some receipts on JDM here. I love that Kenny went Kevin Holland here because we've been aligned the whole time. I think JDM's boxing's phenomenal. I think people are taking a little too much into that last fight where it wasn't a great performance. He looked sloppy. His fight IQ was bad. He kept jumping for guillotines and he kept doing weird stuff when he could have finished the fight, but his hands are lethal. His boxing's great. Kevin Holland's a phenomenal fighter. I agree with you. I think he could win a title at 170 pounds. I think 170-pound Kevin Holland is a different Kevin Holland than 183 pounds what he used to weigh in at 85. I think this fight is going to be bananas. I think Kevin Holland, besides Stephen Thompson, not many people have outstruck him on the feet. You know, he knocked out Ponzinibbio, he knocked out Joaquin Buckley. JDM's got a tall task here. And Kenny's out here swaying me to go Kevin Holland, but I'm going opposite. Kenny went 3 units on Kevin Holland. I'm going to go 4 unis on 3-Name Jack. Let's have a ball game here, babe. Let's have a ball game here.
4 units on 3-Name Jack Della Maddalena. And of course, our great producer says his main event is anything featuring Roman Kopylov.
Yeah,
God love you,
Kopolov's a
Cody.
beast.
Cody, you get a 1-year extension. All right, main event for the undisputed UFC Women's Flyweight Championship. Brian Petrie will lead us off. Valentina Shevchenko minus 185. Alexa Grasso plus 154.
Yeah.
Grasso plus 600. The underdog back in March at UFC 285 shocked the world. Submitted Shevchenko to win the title. Came by 4th round face crank.
Mm-hmm.
Now Shevchenko, who had 7 times successfully defended the title before meeting her match, will try to exact some revenge, Bri. Yeah. I share your enthusiasm for Jack Della Maddalena and Kevin Holland, but I am absolutely dying to know which way you guys fall on this main event. So without further delay, Brian Petrie. And still and new, which way we going?
Yeah, listen, Valentina is kind of the easy pick. I see a lot of people because they're like, oh, she wasn't herself. She was burned out. I like Alexa Grasso. I've liked Alexa Grasso for a while. She's tough. She's not afraid of Valentina at all. And when they clinched and when they hit the ground, Valentina usually is the stronger fighter there for most of her fights. That didn't phase out Alexa Grasso at all. You know, I don't know if Alexa Grasso is stronger than her or not, but that didn't phase her at all. And I think, everyone's like, well, Valentina made one mistake. That's all it takes in this game. I think Alexa Grasso, they say Teddy Atlas quote, you're 30% better as a champion. I agree with that. I think Alexa Grasso is training like a champion. She's probably brought people in to really perfect this. She's already had 1 camp with Valentina. She's got another one. I think Valentina is absolutely a phenomenal fighter. The GOAT, you can throw her in there. But listen, I'm looking at the signs here, okay? Izzy lost, Drake bet him, and I love EA Sports, but he's on the cover of EA. Valentina is also on the cover of EA. Alexa Grasso, who I'm a big fan of, plus money. I'm addicted to plus money. Give me Alexa Grasso. And still, baby.
How about that? Alexa Grasso plus 154 right now on DraftKings Sportsbook. Ken Flo rematch for the undisputed UFC Women's Flyweight Championship. We got Rich Ace Franklin waiting in the hole, but I will give you 60 seconds or longer if you need it to make your prediction. Who wins the main event at Noche UFC?
Yeah, very interesting. I'm a big fan of both of these ladies. They have a lot of firepower, a lot of offensive capabilities. I think it kind of comes down to who's going to be more disciplined and who's going to make the proper adjustments based off of that last rematch. Now, it's very rare that you see Shevchenko at minus 180 something or other.
Yeah.
So I see value there. Minus 185. Alexa Grasso, of course, there's plus money there. But when I look at Shevchenko and all the skills that she has and all the experience, you got to believe she's going to come back stronger, more skilled and smarter. Don't throw any spinning attacks, will you? Give me a heart attack. I'm going with Shevchenko here, minus 185. I see some value there. Let's go, BP.